All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're unpacking the 2026 YouTube blueprint. We've basically boiled down a masterclass from a seriously successful creator into the core, actionable steps you need to build a channel that's going to win.
So let's tackle the one question that's probably on your mind right now. Is it just too late? I mean, with millions of channels out there, it can feel like you're showing up to a party that started years ago. Is there even any space left to make a mark?
And here's the real trap. The advice you find online, most of it is either scattered all over the place, or worse, it's just plain outdated. The strategies that might have worked a few years back, they're basically a death sentence for a new channel today because the entire game has changed. That's exactly why we've put together this clear 5-step blueprint. We're going to start with the problem today, then we'll get you to define your goal, find your niche, understand how the money actually flows, and wrap up with a real long-term plan for growth.
So first things first, let's just get a lay of the land. Why is it so much harder, so much more complex to build a successful YouTube channel today compared to how it used to be? Well, the simple truth is, the whole game has leveled up. Your audience is smarter, they've seen it all, and the standards for quality, they're through the roof. We're talking about cinematic-level video, slick animation. So trying to get by on old, fragmented advice, it's just not going to cut it. You need a modern playbook.
And that playbook starts with one single question. Seriously, this one is critical. Your answer is going to shape every single decision you make from here on out.
You have to decide, are you in this for the money or for the fame? Are you trying to build a profitable machine, or are you trying to build a powerful personal brand? You could have a creator making, say, 50 grand a month without ever showing their face. Then you could have someone else with a massive following who makes way less. Neither is wrong, but you have to know which game you're playing. So this choice basically leads you down two very different paths. On the one hand, you have facecam channels. They're amazing for building a personal brand, getting that deep audience loyalty, and landing big collaborations. But man, they take a ton of your time and energy. On the other hand, you've got faceless channels. These are built to scale. You can run a bunch of them, hire people to do the work, and just focus on the income. But you do lose that personal connection.
But here's the pro move, a third option that a lot of the top players use, the hybrid approach. You start out faceless. See, you build these automated channels that bring in passive income. Then, once that financial engine is running, you can step into the spotlight and build your personal brand on top of it. You get the best of both worlds, the money and the fame.
Okay, so you know your goal. What's next? Well, the next crucial step is finding your niche. You have to carve out your own specific corner of the YouTube universe. I love this quote because it hits the nail on the head. Imagine walking into a store that sells car tires, birthday cakes, and fishing rods. You'd be confused, right? That's your channel without a niche. If a viewer can't figure out what you're about in 5 seconds, they're gone, and they're not subscribing. So where do you even begin to find your niche? Well, it starts by looking inward. The foundation of a channel that actually lasts isn't chasing some hot trend. It's building on something you're genuinely passionate about. Because without that passion, you're just going to burn out.
And to help you find that passion, ask yourself a few simple questions. If time and money were no object, what would you do all day? What topics do you already find yourself going down rabbit holes on just for fun? A lot of the time, your perfect niche is hiding right there in your answers. And this all leads us to the core formula for a winning niche. It's the sweet spot right at the intersection of 3 things. What you love doing, that's your passion, what people are actually out there searching for, that's market demand, and what can actually make money. To build a channel that lasts, you've got to have all 3.
All right, let's talk about the part that trips up almost everyone, the money. Seriously, most new creators have a completely backward idea of how you earn a real living on YouTube. So the basics are pretty simple, right? Companies pay YouTube to run ads on videos. YouTube takes a 45% cut for themselves, and you, the creator, you get the other 55%. That's AdSense. It's what most people think of when they hear YouTube money. But trust me, that is only a tiny piece of the puzzle.
Okay, here it is. This is the secret that separates the amateurs from the professionals. For most of the biggest creators, AdSense is just a small slice of the pie. The creator this blueprint came from, he revealed that about 80% of his income comes directly from brand deals and sponsorships. Ad revenue is just the tip of the iceberg. And to put a real number on this, in just 1 year, his channel made around $24,000 US. Now, that wasn't from having millions and millions of subscribers. It was from a smart,
focused business strategy that wasn't just relying on ads.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this whole blueprint. It's about shifting your mindset. You're not just making videos, you're building a business. So many people get paralyzed by the idea of competition. They look at the huge channels in their niche and think, how could I ever compete with that? But here's the thing. When you build a channel around your genuine passion, your unique take on the world, you're not competing anymore. You're creating something only you can make. Your authenticity is your superpower. This is exactly why you have to think long-term. Let's take a fitness channel, for example. You can make videos on the main muscle groups, but after 100 videos or so, you might start running out of fresh ideas. But what about a channel that summarizes movies? You literally have an endless supply of content. So you have to ask yourself, can I see myself doing this for the next 5 years?
So that's the blueprint, right there. It's not some secret hack or a way to trick the algorithm, it's a solid plan. First, you define your goal. Is it money or fame? Then, you find that perfect niche where your passion meets profit. You understand that the real money is in sponsorships, not just ad revenue. And finally, you build everything with the next 5 years in mind, not just the next 5 weeks.
Which leaves us with one last big question. I want you to stop thinking about it as just a channel. Start treating it like a real business. So with this blueprint in your hands, what's your 5-year plan?